play me some motherfucking no, bro.
Hello and welcome to episode number 29 of Here's the Rubble podcast. That intro song was La La by No Bill. I probably should let it go for a little bit longer, but what can I say? I'm rusty. We haven't done this in a while. With me as always is my co-host RJ. RJ, how you doing, man?
Not too bad, not too bad. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Like I said, a little bit rusty. We haven't been...
Yeah, we haven't recorded since what, like the first week of December?
It's been over a month, yeah, which is weird, but you know what?
Because
it's kind of a nice vacation.
It is definitely weird because we were doing an episode a week steadily for like 4 or 5 months.
For a pretty good time, yeah. It was, and then Gage just absolutely just shit the bed. So
yeah, we had to get rid of him. We got a new.
I'm actually Gage too.
Well, we hired Jamie Kilstein, but then he quit.
So we just cloned a new Gage.
Yeah, exactly.
Which means like, we probably got 5 months with this one, and then we'll just print a new one.
See, that's the best part about it.
We should print a new one 4 months in, so we have the other one ahead of time. But we can't let them get near each other.
That month. That way we don't take the month hiatus again. Yeah.
Because if they see each other, they might go feral.
Well, I mean, we'll just put a bucket over one of their heads or whatever. But anyway,
that's why we sent Gage 1 to Nicaragua.
Yeah, well, you know, he's getting a nice tan right now.
Yep.
In the jungle where we dropped him. If, you know, assuming he's alive. But yeah, anyway, music. What have you been listening to lately, RJ? And by lately, I mean at any time in the last month.
Oh, man. We'll go with lately because that's what I can vaguely remember.
Yeah. A month is a long time.
Yeah. 12 hours is a long time, bro.
Yeah,
all right.
I feel that.
So I've been listening to Flying Raccoon Suit Afterglow.
Great name.
Love that album. I actually bought the record.
Yeah, didn't you just order that like last night, or was that a different one?
No, that was a different one. I got the Flying Raccoon Suit one already.
Oh, that was like a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Loving that album. I listen to it a lot. I've also been listening to Bad Operations self-titled record, which I ordered like last night or the night before. And yeah, a lot of ska in general.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah, that makes sense.
Ska, this is, I guess, kind of sad news. Actually, I guess it's public knowledge, so I suppose I don't know. It's weird, kind of announcing this, I guess, but yeah, I believe that this is public knowledge. Alex,
is Misfortune Tellers going to be a ska band?
Yeah, that's the sad news. Oh wow, sorry, I was peeking for a second. I laughed too hard. That's the sad news. We're transitioning to ska. No, what I was going to say is, Safe Sax has unfortunately broken up.
Oh damn.
Yeah. Alex made a post about it. I forgot if I told you off mic or not. I can't remember. I think I told you that they might have, but
I think you told me that you had heard it through the grapevine, but weren't sure yet.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure yet. But yeah, Alex made a post about it. Unfortunately, Safe Sax is done, but I know Alex especially. Actually, I've already kind of talked to him recently a little bit. He'll be back soon with a new band, I'm sure. At some point.
Well, maybe this bad news could turn into good news.
Exactly, because what I'm thinking
Get Alex into Misfortune Tellers go ska.
Alex doesn't even play a horn, though. He plays guitar. We already got 2 guitarists. But anyway, yeah, they're all super talented musicians.
Well, you'd play horn.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I could play my trombone. Yeah, maybe this will work. But yeah, I'm sure Alex, Leela, Steve, Rodrigo, Carter. Actually, Carter's already doing some stuff. I should figure out what his Instagram handle is, but I know he's been like actually scoring video games recently, if I remember correctly.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, but anyway, they're all super talented people, so they're all going to land on their feet. But it is a bit of a shame that we're not going to have any more safe sacks. But regardless, I'm sure they're all going to do something great. So
yeah, it sucks, but fucking, they're all young. They all got a lot of music to make.
Totally.
Over the next 25 years before the world ends.
Yeah, for real. And yeah, Edmonton's got a pretty good scene, so like I'm sure it won't be too hard for them to start something and do something more. I forget if I mentioned it or not, but Steve Pack, also member of that band, is great, and he's done some solo stuff as well. So maybe he'll just be going back to doing that. But yeah, anyway, they're all fantastic, so I'm sure they'll be fine. But yeah, that I guess you saying ska reminded me of that. Not to interrupt you though, you were still going through your list of what you've been listening to recently, or I could chime in with mine. So it's been so long since we've done this. I'm like getting the flow of it, like
right.
I'm like, I don't want to talk too much. Or like,
well, I'll just say I've also been listening to that new Kill Lincoln album. Well, not new. It's from 2020.
That's newish.
I mean, that's like 2 years ago.
Fuck, it is. Yeah.
And the actually new Eichler's song, Anthem for a New Tone. Really enjoying that. Which is also ska, but like power ska.
Power ska.
Yeah, it's like power pop, but power ska.
Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Actually, hey, have you listened to the new, I'm assuming you have, the new Weekend album yet?
I actually haven't.
You haven't? Really?
Yeah,
okay.
Pretty much.
Jalen. Okay, never mind.
There's been like a point during every day when I'm like, oh, I should listen to that new Weekend album. But then
that was me.
I'll forget.
That was me for like the last week, but I finally went and did it last night. Yeah, today's Tuesday. Last night. It's really good, man. My roommate George of Gratuitous Platypus, he showed me like a couple songs like the week before, and I was like, damn, this is really cool. But I didn't actually sit down and listen to the whole thing front to back. So yeah, I went and did that yesterday. I just went to I had a band practice for a different band, not Misfortune, though, it was a different band. It got canceled, so I was already out, like on my way to it, basically, like on the way there. So I was like, well, shit, I don't want to go home yet. So I just parked at like a coffee shop, got like a cup of, I think I got like a chai latte or something.
Cup of Joe.
Like, it's too late for coffee. It was like 6 p.m. So I was like, I don't want caffeine.
Does caffeine affect you?
Oh yeah, totally. I do this weird thing where I'll go like in cycles, basically, where I'll go a full month where I drink coffee every fucking day, and I have like a pot a day, basically, and then I just get too lazy to make it, or I forget to do it, and I stop drinking coffee. So then I go through like brutal withdrawals for like 2 days, and it's so funny because I always forget about it. I'm always like, why does my body hurt so much? Why am I dying? Because I'm just so stupid. I forget that it's because I'm addicted to caffeine and I'm not getting that fix. But anyway, so yeah, that happens, and then I go like that for like a little while, and then I'm like, oh right, I like coffee, I should drink coffee. So then I go do that again. So right now I'm in the second half of that process where I'm like, oh right, coffee's good. So yeah, right now caffeine absolutely does affect me, because that's another thing. I forgot to even mention, when I start the cycle over, I'm like, oh yeah, right, I was drinking like a pot of coffee a day, I can do that right now. And then I do that, and then I get like really bad anxiety, my body just starts like vibrating, because again, I'm an idiot, and then I've completely lost my tolerance because it's been long enough, and then the cycle continues, and I'm just constantly in pain.
Yeah, I think like maybe I just need to try and take a caffeine break for a while, but
probably, man, most people do.
I don't know, like fucking I could drink a Red Bull and then sleep 30 an hour, fucking hour and a half later, it don't matter. I can slam a Red Bull and sleep at any moment afterwards. You're
not supposed to be able to do that. I like to drink Red Bulls before like shows. I did that at our last show. I completely forgot about this. I'm just gonna tell this because I think it's kind of funny.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
No, because my favorite flavor was the kiwi one, and they don't make it anymore here.
You should. Oh, they don't make it at all. Don't worry, buddy.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't think so.
I'm a Red Bull connoisseur. This is the Red Bull section of the podcast. You can't miss with Peach Nectarine.
Oh yeah, that one's fucking good.
They did the Plum. I think that was one of the best
like
they've done.
Winter one or whatever.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Funny enough, I think it was a Peach Nectarine one that I had in the story that I was going to tell.
Beautiful.
It all ties together perfectly.
But pomegranate, that's the most diverse Red Bull.
I've never had the pomegranate.
It was good. Bold. It was a bold choice. It was delicious.
Yeah. Anyway,
now you can tell your story.
Yeah, this was at the last Misfortune Tellers show. We were at this bar, Black Ship on Jasper, and I won't get into too many details about the venue itself, but this is a little bit shit talky, but I don't mean it to be, so I'm not gonna be specific. Yeah, there you go. I've avoided
this. Is getting juicy.
No, I've completely avoided the issue by not elaborating further, and I will refuse to. But anyway, for one reason or another, we ended up being up way later than we probably should have started. So we didn't end up playing until not until like 12:30 or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, like we ended up closing the bar down. It was fun, but it was one of those things where I was like, man, I'm fucking tired. We were supposed to have started like 45 minutes ago. Like, what is going on? So like right before we were up, Gratuitous Platypus was up, and shout out to George again real quick, and
the homie George. All the homies from GP.
Yeah, I love those guys. But George, I talked to him a little bit before. I was like, man, I'm not looking forward to like getting on at like fucking midnight. And he was like, okay, if it seems like the vibe is dying and people are starting to get tired or whatever, we'll like run a shorter set. And I was like, really? Are you serious, man? You don't mind? He was like, no, we'll feel it out. We'll see how it goes. So they did end up running a little bit shorter of a set than I think they cut a couple songs or just did them faster. But anyway, so like during their set, I like ran to like the bathroom, and the bathroom in this venue was like downstairs. What the hell was that?
My bad. I accidentally slapped a cup. And it bumped into a bong.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. That sounded like a notification. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, sorry, I was trying to grab something.
It's all good. But yeah, anyway, I just like, I wasn't sure if I was allowed to do this in the venue because they sold Red Bulls at the venue, but I had one in my backpack. So I was just like, I'm going to just fucking chug this real quick.
Would have been funny if you got thrown out.
Well, that's what I was thinking is I was like, I don't want to risk this being an issue. So I like just like snuck it in my pocket and like ran downstairs.
That's seriously something that only you would actually be worried about.
I know, dude. I know.
No one would say anything, but if like the bartender was like, "Hey, you didn't buy that Red Bull," you could just be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, it was in my bag. I'm playing it a bit. Sorry."
I guess you're right. It wouldn't be an issue at all. But I was just like,
bartender would be like, "Oh, that makes sense. All right."
Yeah, you're 100% right. So I like fucking this makes it even lamer than what I did. I was like, I gotta chug this in the bathroom really quick so no one sees me drink this. Because I was like, if someone sees me, they'll ask questions and be like, "Where did you?" This is so lame.
This dude is like James Bond drinking a Red Bull so he don't get caught.
So I go down to the bathroom and I just like start chugging the fucking Red Bull, and I hear someone coming, so I panic and just like squeeze the thing and basically just like push the rest of it down my throat all at once. And then I like throw it in the trash can, but the trash can is full, so it's right on top. So I move fucking like paper towels over top of it to hide the fucking Red Bull.
Oh my god, bro.
I'm an anxious person, okay?
Bro, if you're that anxious, you don't need a whole Red Bull.
Hey, guess what? You're correct. So I ended up just like obviously it like all kicked in really fast because I fucking chugged the whole thing. So like I think it's like 5 minutes later, and I'm just like bouncing up and down. I'm like, oh fuck, I can't wait to fucking go down. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking start. Let's fucking go, man. Let's fucking go. Let's get this shit. Anyway, the show ended up being pretty fun, honestly, even though like the venue itself wasn't probably the best place for music. It's like a cool venue. It's just like the stage wasn't it wasn't a stage. We were playing on the floor, and there was like a table in the middle of like the space we were playing on. If you've seen like the pictures and like videos on Instagram,
I know the type of place you're talking about.
Yeah. It was fun to play anyway, but yeah, so that was I forget how we even got on this track. Oh yeah, caffeine, that's what we're talking about. But yeah.
But bro, it would just be so funny if when you heard someone coming and once they got to you and you like hid the Red Bull, you just dropped to the ground and started crying, I'm sorry. It was in my bag. It was in my bag, I swear, I promise.
I'm not stealing, I promise. I brought it from home. No, I just figured it'd be like one of those things where it's like you're at the venue and they're like, "Hey, you didn't get that here. What are you doing bringing in outside things?" And I'd have to be like, I'm sorry, I didn't.
I just
it wouldn't be a big
imagine
deal, but it'd be an awkward conversation. I don't fucking need that.
I just imagine like the owner walking out of the bathroom while you're playing and holding up the Red Bull can and then sicking security on you, and they just tackle you off the not stage, I guess.
That would have been really fucking funny. Damn. That's so funny. I do so many things that are so stupid that I don't even realize until I start telling people them, and then they're like, "Wow, you didn't need to do that at all." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, you're right. I made my life a lot harder than it has to be."
Yeah, but it's good podcast content.
I guess so. But if you're done sharing what you've been listening to mostly,
I'll allow you to talk about music.
Yeah, I'll start getting into. I've had like a weird progression of music over the last little bit. And some of it is caused by my already obsessions with certain bands. Like, obviously, if you've listened to the podcast before, you've probably heard me talk about Joyce Manor and Modern Baseball, which are two of my favorite bands.
Oh, you like them?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah, I showed you them. That's right.
Yeah, okay. Sure, you can claim that, I suppose. Oh, actually, no, real quick. Sorry, before we get too far away from it. I know you haven't listened to it yet, but I want to talk about the new Weekend album a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
It's fantastic. I don't think I'm going to say anything that anyone hasn't already said. As a concept album, it's really cool, really interesting. Jim Carrey being on the album was interesting. I wasn't really expecting that.
Yeah, I got to listen to that album.
And he weirdly... now, this is a hot take.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. This is kind of a musical spoiler, but it's not really.
Oh, what the...
It's not really. Don't worry. Like, I'm going to say it, and you're going to be like, wow, you've spoiled nothing. Or you'll just get mad at me. I don't care either way. But, like, the last track on the album is, like, basically Jim Carrey just reading out a poem with music in the background. I don't like Jim Carrey very much, but...
Is he kind of crazy?
He's pretty crazy,
okay.
Yeah. But it kind of, that persona kind of works really well with this album because, like, I think.
But is he like Scientologist crazy or like normal famous crazy?
He's not normal famous crazy or Scientologist crazy. He is like 15-year-old boy who just read a philosophy textbook for the first time and thinks he's really deep type crazy. Like there's this
like
whole
Reddit atheist crazy.
Not quite that.
Okay.
So here's an example. There's this one interview where he's being interviewed by this guy. And someone refers to him as you, and he goes, no, there is no me. And then they're like, right, okay. So the person that used to be referred to as Jim Carrey. And then he's like, yeah, there you go, that's better. And then he tells a story, and he just says I and me and stuff like that. And it's like, you fucking, like, what are you talking about, you dick? Like,
when you said that, you didn't hear it, but Gage goes, word.
Yeah, I was muted, but...
Yeah, anyway, so that's like his, I don't know, that was his deal. I don't know if he's gotten better or if he's still doing that shit. Either way, he's like, that kind of vibe fits with the whole kind of concept of the album, I guess.
Right.
It's kind of about, I might be talking out of my ass here, but if I remember correctly, it's kind of like about this radio station, Dawn FM or whatever, that you're kind of listening to as you like ascend to the next plane of existence, whatever, as you like die.
Huh.
Hence why like the album art is The Weeknd looking really old. It's because it's like the end of his life, I guess. I believe that's true. I might be totally wrong. Maybe I misinterpreted it, but that's what I thought it was. Anyway, it's really cool. It feels really Daft Punk inspired. A lot of the
interesting,
like not background music, like the tracks and stuff like that are really cool. And obviously The Weeknd's fucking amazing. I think he's like the best Canadian like pop artist / like, I know he's like R&B, but like, you know what I mean, like popular music.
Right.
And I don't understand in a world where The Weeknd exists why anyone listens to Drake.
Yeah.
Because Like,
yeah, The Weeknd's pretty dope.
He's great, and like I said, if you're gonna like, oh, I want to listen to a Canadian like pop artist, it's like fucking listen to The Weeknd. His shit is way
The
better than
Weeknd's
Drake
Canadian.
sucks. He's Canadian, man.
What the hell?
He's been Canadian.
What province is he from?
Probably the east somewhere. I actually don't know that.
You think Ontario? That's where Toronto is,
like,
right?
Almost definitely, yeah. Yeah, Toronto, yeah.
Yo, so is it true? Yes. I can't remember which province it is, but some of you Canadians eat horse?
I'm pretty sure that's Mongolia.
No, there's a place in Canada where they eat horse.
Okay.
Maybe it's Montreal. Is that Canada?
Montreal's famous for its steak, dude, not horses.
Hold on.
Well, even then, it's not really. It's like the spices, I guess. Like Montreal smoked chicken, Montreal smoked steak. This isn't real. I don't believe this.
Okay, so I guess in parts of the French-speaking province of Quebec. Yeah. But generally speaking, y'all don't eat horses.
Yeah. No. No shit.
There is some demand though in Quebec.
All right, what the fuck was I talking about before? Yeah. Anyway, the Weeknd album is very cool. Go listen to it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna listen to it tonight. Probably. I don't work tomorrow. I'll stay up late.
There you go. On top of actually, that might be the best time to listen to it. On top of that,
maybe we'll play a little Halo.
Yeah, sure. I guess so. I was gonna say this is the type of album you should probably just listen to. But
I might just listen to it.
I've been listening to a shit ton of Joyce Manor again, as always.
Hell yeah.
But different albums now, because I kind of bounced off of this one before when I listened to it, $1 Million to Kill Me, just because it's I don't think it's as good as the other albums necessarily. But I gave it another shot recently, and I've been really enjoying it. To the point where I'm like, oh, I think some of these songs might be some of my favorites. But I don't know. Maybe that's just because they're newer and kind of fresher to me. Because I've been doing the same thing with their collection album that came out in like 2020, 2021 maybe. Songs from Northern Torrents. Which is also great, but I hadn't listened to as much, so I've been doing that a lot. And I know this is a faux pas to even acknowledge that other podcasts exist on the cast, but
I don't think that's true.
Well, we haven't been doing it, so I don't want people to know there's other podcasts out there. They know that they won't listen to this one.
I'll gladly shout out some other podcast in defense of ska. Boom.
All right.
Checkered Past.
Stop talking about ska podcasts. Anyway, there's a podcast that I really enjoy called Bandsplain. It's like a Spotify partnered one, so they do the music and talk thing. They basically do what we do, except professionally.
That's pretty cool. Good for them.
Yeah, but it's like one of my favorite podcasts. They like talk about like different bands like every episode, and they get like an expert in to talk about it, and they play like songs from the band's discography to kind of chart like the history of it. Basically, it's like a lot of like cult favorite bands, and then it's like, all right, this is like the beginner's guide starting from the very beginning. Here's the history of the band. Here's like every album.
Right.
Really cool. They've done some like great episodes on like the Pixies and the Replacements, who are both bands that I love. But recently on Joyce Manor's Instagram, I saw a post where it's like, oh, Barry Johnson, the lead singer of Joyce Manor, is on this podcast, Bandsplain. And I was like, holy shit, this is my favorite artist, and this is one of my favorite podcasts. And the episode that he's on is like 5 hours long, and I was like, holy shit, that rules. I wonder what band he's talking about. It'd be weird if it was Joyce Manor, because they usually don't have people on from their own bands to talk about it.
Right.
I wonder what band Barry Johnson cares enough about and loves enough to talk about for 5 hours. It was fucking Weezer.
Oh my god!
I know. It was Weezer.
Oh so man, that is so lame.
It was such a monkey's paw for me, because I was like, oh man, like one of my favorite podcasts, like my favorite artist. I can listen to him talk for 5 hours.
Can you listen to them talk about Weezer for 5 hours?
Yeah, and I think what I've discovered is you and I hate Weezer just as much as Weezer fans do.
Okay, sweet.
Because apparently the consensus,
like Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently the consensus is the first two are good and the rest are bad. Like just like Star Wars, basically.
I think for the most part, well, first of all, every Star Wars movie is Star Wars. They're all the same.
Okay.
But
I disagree, but I get it.
Only the first Weezer album I would say is good.
Well, people seem to love Pinkerton. Like they've circled back around on it. At the time, it was like, oh, this is really misogynistic, blah, blah, this and that. But I don't know. At least Yossi, like the host of the podcast, she and Barry both seem to think that a lot of the quote unquote misogyny in it is like kind of like deconstructive or like not satire, but like
ironic almost.
Like, not ironic. It's just a more critical portrayal of it than like perhaps in other music. Like they talk about how it's like, yeah, okay, a lot of this stuff is bad, but it's like Rivers kind of being like, yeah, this is bad and this is a part of me and I'm not going to hide that. Right. Which I think is I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. I haven't listened to all of Pinkerton. But anyway, they made a really good point where it's like, yeah, but you know how much fucking music is misogynistic as hell, but people like don't talk about it at all. Like shit, like I don't know, Motley Crue, fucking girls, stuff like that. Nobody gives Motley Crue shit for being misogynistic. People kind of just give Rivers Cuomo shit for it because he's like a kind of an incel, where it's like, yeah, he's like this weak kind of loser dude. So it's not okay for him to be misogynistic.
Right.
But you know, when these like fucking like Chad rock stars are doing it, it's like, yeah, this rules, you know? Which I was like, that's an interesting point. I don't necessarily know if I agree with it, but maybe I'll give Pinkerton a shot now.
I'd just like to say I also dislike it when big band anyone does it.
No, that's not true. RJ was telling me the other day, he's like, I love when Motley Crue objectifies women. It's my
I've
favorite
definitely
thing.
never said love and Motley Crue
in the same sentence.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless I said I would love to beat up every member of Motley Crue.
No, I think you said I love the Motley Crue movie starring Machine Gun Kelly. I think you said that.
When I used to pump
Machine Gun Kelly, inventor of punk music.
Yeah. When I used to pump gas for a living, this crazy old lady I worked with, one day was telling me all about the Motley Crue movie that came out with Machine Gun Kelly.
Bad movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched
entertaining.
it. I don't like that band.
Fair enough. It's entertaining. I don't believe for a fucking second that that's how any of it happened, but you know, it does the stereotypical like music biopic thing where it like has like the whole narrative arc where it's basically the exact same movie as fucking Bohemian Rhapsody. If you've seen one of them, you've seen both of them,
right?
Except the difference is Vince Neil doesn't get AIDS; his daughter dies. Which, you know, who's to say?
So
I have no idea what the fuck I meant by that.
Yeah, I don't know. But I'd just like to say we've been running for quite a few minutes. Do we want to listen to your song? You got more stuff you want to talk about first, though?
Let's play it and then I'll talk about it, I guess.
All right.
Instead.
I'm going to critically analyze this song.
Real quick, I guess let me intro it a little bit before it plays. This is a song by a band called Slaughter Beach Dog.
Oh, Slaughter Beach Dog's pretty cool.
Dude, okay, you've listened to them.
Yeah.
Did you know that this is a project? Excuse me. Shouldn't have done that right into the mic. It's fine.
No, that was
originally it started as like a side project for Modern Baseball's own Jake Ewald, one of the two lead singers of that band. So this is his band. So I believe this song off of the EP Motorcycle JPEG, which the whole fucking thing is fantastic, by the way. This is when he was still solo, I believe. So all of this is Jake on this track. But yeah, I guess let's listen to it.
Word.
She smoked 100s when I met her. She tried to quit before she left me. I'm not so sure if that's important. Free association gets me dizzy. They ask what's the reason for your appointment. I try to come up with something vague. She asks if I'm going to the party. I tell her I'm going to the party. It's so hot by noon I just get queasy. It's so hot by 2 I stay inside. I try to put down a cup of coffee. He asks how much I'm drinking and I lie. But doctors are always trying to tell you forget to spit out the seeds. I'll make it through this if it kills me. Then when it kills me, I'll come back. Jesus will make me a disciple, or maybe he'll let me be your cat. I wait to be led into temptation as I lay alone across the street. Catherine is smoking pot above me, watching Hellraiser on TV. Tomorrow I'm driving to Chicago. Tonight I am kneeling from the pew, still doing all I can to understand. One more erotic nightmare about you.
I really like that. I like that a lot.
I don't know. I've been getting really into Slaughter Beach Dog recently.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that whole album.
Oh yeah, that EP is like, it's great.
Oh,
it's
EP.
4 songs and all of them are fantastic. I've been slowly working my way through their discography. I started with their first album, which I believe is called, it's either called Welcome or Introduction. I can't remember. It's something along those lines. Sorry, I just love the way that it's called Welcome. There we go. I love the way in that song he says nightmare. I
Yeah.
sent it to you in the chat while we were listening to it, but I just felt like it would be remiss to
Yeah.
not bring it up.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, I love Slaughter Beach Dog. Jake Ewald, I always thought his lyrics were so interesting in modern baseball. I'm just gonna fucking stand modern baseball really hard for a second here. I love that band. It's so good. Like Bren's lyrics are like really just like personal and like, I don't know, they fucking get me. They're more specific and personal, and I feel like they really cut deep. And Jake's are more like you think about them a little bit more. He has really interesting word choices, and like, I don't know. And I think Slaughter Beach like really gives him a great outlet for that type of writing. Like,
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you said you've listened to a little bit of them, RJ? Or?
Yeah, like in various playlists and shit.
Okay, yeah. So like a lot of his stuff is like character based. Like, basically, from what I understand, is Slaughter Beach is like the town that all these characters live in, and for each song, he basically chooses like a character to write from their perspective and kind of tell a story. And I just think that's so cool. And I think he does a great job with it too. And that's something that I've been trying to do in my writing a little bit. Like right now, I was telling RJ before we started recording, like I've been doing a lot of writing recently, and I've been kind of trying to like strike like a balance between, I don't know. I've been trying to write stuff like Jake does, because I don't really write with characters often.
Right.
But recently I wrote I peaked super hard when I smacked my lips there like a disgusting man. But I wrote like a song recently that normally it takes me a while to write songs. Like I usually have to think about them and like really like pour over my word choice, and like sometimes it's just hard to figure out where they're going next. But recently I tried to do the character thing, and I like came up with this idea with these characters, and if this is boring, just stop me. But
this is interesting.
Okay, cool. I basically I was like, all right, let's try this. Let's try this whole character thing, and it's honestly a super super cool way of writing. Like I ended up finishing a song that I actually really like in like 5 hours, which for me is like unheard of. Usually it takes me at least a couple days. I usually have to like take a break and then come back to something, but for this one, I like basically it started. I'm in this one songwriting class, and the prof was talking about how like it's important when you're writing to like maintain like consistency with like the tense of the story, so it doesn't get confusing, you know. So like past tense, present tense, future, whatever. But the example he used was like this line, my one true love has left me for like the past tense, and then my one true love is leaving me for present tense.
Right.
And then he was talking about how he's like, yeah, like the present tense is a little more direct, so it kind of like speaks with a little bit more immediacy, so that can kind of like hit a little bit harder when you're writing stuff like that. And then he talked about how like, yeah, like my one true love like will leave me. He was like, you don't really hear stuff like that often. He's like, it's interesting, but like I forget what he said, something about how it not having the same like immediacy or whatever. But for whatever reason, I was just like, I heard that line and I was like, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try writing about like a song that kind of takes place like in like future tense kind of. So like I
really
just,
like that. Yeah, that's really.
I'll send you the demo later, RJ. But like I went and I even recorded this thing at home to here because I was like, this is kind of cool. But yeah, I started with like the line, my one true love will leave me, and I just kept going, and I like finished like the song in like 5 hours, like I said. And basically it's like about like a married couple essentially who like they both know that things are falling apart and neither of them is really like going to do anything to stop it. So it's this weird thing where it's like, I don't know, like I said, it's like you don't really hear stuff like that super often. So I was like, this is kind of a cool idea to try and write something like that. So
right, and I definitely any like instance that I can vaguely think of as like being future tense and shit isn't really, none of them are necessarily like a sad story or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Like I can't really think of a specific example right now, but I definitely feel like I've heard it, but only in like a metaphorical way. Mm-hmm. Or just like in a like I don't know how to explain it, like a not necessarily happy, but
usually it's like looking forward to something, right?
Yeah, I guess looking forward to something, type thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. I thought that'd be kind of interesting to try that. But yeah, I don't know. I also don't know if this is super interesting. If people like hearing me talk about writing songs and stuff. If you do, I'm more than happy to talk about it more. But
I definitely like hearing about it.
Oh, thanks, RJ. I appreciate that. But yeah, Slaughter Beach. So sorry, go ahead.
No. You can finish what you were gonna say about them.
No, I was just gonna say I love them. I've been working my way through their discography.
Right.
I just started listening to Safe and also No Fear for the first time this morning. I haven't finished it yet, but it's really good.
Right.
Also, you'll like this. I got in an argument with someone recently where I do this dumb thing. I did this dumb thing that I do that I should get better at. I honestly should. It's annoying. Where sometimes I'll make a snap judgment and then choose that as a hill to die on. So
I love doing that.
It's so, and the worst part is, RJ, I don't know when I'm doing it. Usually when
same.
You do it, you're
no. A lot of times, you don't know until you're already like 3 feet deep, and at that point, you might as well keep going.
Just keep digging, yeah. So like we talked about this on the podcast one time about like UK punk, about how like we both think the Sex Pistols are overrated, right?
Oh, they're trash.
Yeah, right. That's what I said. But I took it a step further. I was like, yeah, I just don't think UK punk is like very good or whatever.
Okay, well,
yeah. So that's let me finish. And I realized I'm like, I don't actually mean this, do I? But I was saying it, and I was like, no, this is where I stand. I was like, Sex Pistols are fucking ass. So therefore, British punk fucking sucks. And someone was like, I don't agree with you at all, but I'm not going to argue with you because I don't want to have this conversation. And that was kind of what made me like stop. And I was like, I should probably reevaluate this. And then I was like, oh wait, fucking Crass and Subhumans fucking rule.
Right. The
Clash, what am I talking
is
about?
Awesome.
Also the Clash. Yeah, exactly. I think I even said, I was like, no, I like the Clash, but other than that, I can't really think of any bands. Because like I said, I just completely fucking forgot that Crass and Subhumans exist again. No. So yeah, that was another thing I listened to recently. The Day the Country Died by Subhumans. I was like, yeah, this shit fucking rules. Then yeah, go ahead.
Just so we're all clear, the West Coast of America has generated the most good quality punk rock.
Well, and also like just America in general makes better music. Sorry, the Beatles.
Yeah, don't get me going on the Beatles. But before we get too far away from the topic of like making music like from a character's perspective, I really want to recommend you the album God Forgive These Bastards, songs from the Forgotten Life of Henry Turner by the Taxpayers.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, the Taxpayers. I've listened to a little of the Taxpayers. I don't know if I've listened to that album though.
Rob from the Taxpayers, I'm just going to read a quick thing he said about the album. Ahead. He said, Henry Turner...
Oh, yeah, I've listened to a couple songs from that album.
Yeah, I love that album. He said, Henry Turner is a fictional character who was dreamed up around January of 2011 when I was living in a storage container in Florida for the winter with the rest of the taxpayers. One day I sat outside the storage container to watch the vultures circle overhead and wrote a song about a schizophrenic guy living on the streets telling anybody who will listen that he used to be a major league pitcher back in the 1970s. That song became Who the Hell Are You? We started writing more songs about that guy, eventually enough to make a whole album about Henry Turner. Then
I've listened to sorry, I'll let you finish. Never mind.
Then one day while on tour, I decided a book should be written about him. I thought this would be a neat thing to do because 1, it would give the songs greater context, and 2, it would give flesh and bones to the Turner character. At first, I tried to get our friend Keith Rosen to write the book because he's a real writer, but he had his own writing work to work on. So I decided to give it a shot myself. Then he goes on to say how like I'll read the rest. Hold on. Somewhere along the line, I started writing the book from the perspective of Turner being a guy that I actually knew in real life. It was exciting. I went to the library and researched some actual historical Turner families from Georgia and linked the fictional Henry to those families. Strangely, I found out that there was a post-Civil War senator named Henry Gray Turner who married a woman named Lavinia Calhoun Morton.
Hell yeah, dude. That's a good name.
Yeah. Who, according to the librarian who was helping me, might be loosely related to me. The lineage gets muddy somewhere in the early 1800s New York City, so according to the librarian, it's tough to say for certain, but it was neat to think about.
That's so cool.
And then he goes on to just say, like, eventually, like, someone sued him saying that the money from the album and book, which he says there is none. It's DIY fucking punk music. There's no profits.
That's a huge bummer because that's a good album.
Yeah,
everything that I've heard of it, at least.
Well, nothing like happened or anything because it was all made up.
I just mean it's a huge bummer that they're not making really any money off of it.
Oh yeah,
but that's how it goes, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure they're making a little bit more money now or something. I think they were signed to Asian Man Records. Yeah.
Oh no shit. Well, there you go. Actually, sorry. Continue your thing. Then I have a thing with Asian Man actually too.
But yeah, he goes on to say like someone said that all of the profits from the album and book should go to like this granddaughter of Henry Turner who didn't exist.
That's really funny.
And all sorts of stuff like that.
Who was this person then who felt the need to like reach out for this?
I think it might have been some like foundation or something. But yeah, people were saying that like people started saying he was a bad person because he used like not a lot of people
story, their life or whatever.
Because he like used them to make music and a book and didn't give them any money from it and shit like that.
Yeah, he's a fictional character, man.
But that goes to show like even just starting with an album, you can really like bring a character to life to where it does genuinely feel like this is a real person.
Yeah,
is even in your eyes being taken advantage of, even though it's a completely fictional thing. I think that's really interesting.
That's a huge compliment to him that it's like, this character is so lifelike that someone got offended on their behalf.
But yeah, I really like albums that tell a story and shit like that. So you should definitely check that album out.
I think I'll have to, because I've listened to a couple songs off of it, like off the top of my head. And now I'm forgetting what. Atlanta Zone, I think is the name of the song. Where it's just like it's baseball. I remember, I think Alex, actually, funny enough, Alex Bauer, bringing it back to the Safe Sex. He's the one who showed me that song, and I was like, "Damn, this rules."
I'll tell you my favorite songs off the album. Hold up.
Sure.
But you gotta listen to it from start to finish.
Oh, of course. Well, I mean, it's a concept album.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That. Oh man, that'd be funny if like I that whole time I was talking about the Weeknd album, I'm like, yeah, I listened to it on shuffle.
My favorite songs are "Drinking with Mickey Mantle," "Hungry Dog in the Street." The Businessman is like a really good song, like for the character of a schizophrenic homeless guy. And "I Love You Like an Alcoholic" is really good. But yeah, really good album. Highly recommend.
Yeah, I'll add it to my list right now. Actually, I can't believe. Oh, that came out in 2012. I thought it was more recent than that for some reason. I don't know why.
No. Like I said, the concept of him came about in like 2011. He said.
Yeah, I guess so. Damn, when they were living in that storage container. Yeah.
Yep. All of the taxpayers just living in a storage container. Does it get more DIY than that?
No, it really doesn't. Man. Man, I have so much I've been listening to. I might have to save some of this for the next episode, honestly.
Yeah, we've Gage, how long have we been
going? 45 minutes ish.
All right.
That's not bad. We can keep talking then.
Well, we can listen to my song real quick.
Okay, cool. And then maybe that's what I'll talk about instead of like the other things I've been listening to.
But yeah, I guess we won't schedule next time we record right now, but sometime maybe we can do it again this week, hopefully.
Let's hear the next song.
Yeah.
Little man taller than an anthill. Little man thoughts are all to conquer. Little man, you live a little life alone. Little man wanna live forever. Little man decides to be a father. Little man small as anything you know. You want the world to be your way. Everyone will fall in place. Little man wanna have his own land. Little man wanna be his own man. Little man, you win a little life alone. Little man shrinking as the days end. Little man, no animal is chasing. Little man as small as everything he knows. Want the world to be away. And everyone to fall in place. Little man lost in space. Where there's your will, there's no way. We want the world to be away. And everyone to fall in place. Little man lost in space. Where there's your will, there's no way.
That was super cool, man. Like, what was that? Like, title, I guess, and
Uh,
band name.
That was Bad Operation, that record I ordered.
Oh, sick. Well, there you go.
Self-titled album. And that was Little Man.
Huh.
Yeah, dude. I think I sent... Did you listen to any of the stuff I sent you last night?
I did not. I looked at a couple of them.
I got a drone strike heading to your house right now.
Listen, I think I even told you in the text. I was I'm definitely not.
Tell Gratuitous Platypus that they got to go. There's a drone coming.
All right, well, I'll give them a warning, I guess. Yeah.
Well, we got to finish the podcast first, and then I'll send the drone.
Yeah, so they got some time to figure it out.
Gage is actually my drone guy. And our sound guy.
Gage he can't do both those jobs at once. So. Gage, give us a sound effect.
Do it.
Shut up, bitch!
Cool, there you go. Perfect. See? That was ow.
Nice.
Sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm loving that album right now.
Yeah, I dig it, man.
Yeah, you should listen to the whole thing.
I definitely should.
But not immediately. Whenever you get the chance.
Well, if I do it immediately, will you stop the drone strike?
I suppose.
Okay, well then I definitely won't then.
But yeah, ska band. They're on the Bad Times record. I
keep on hitting my knees. Sorry.
Bad Time Records. I can't talk.
Oh, right. Record companies. That reminds me of what I was going to talk about earlier. Right. I said earlier you mentioned Asian Man, and I was like, I got something to say about Asian Man Records. It barely tangentially related. Again, we were talking about how the taxpayers, they unfortunately don't actually make that much money. That reminds me, I listened to another podcast that Barry Johnson was on recently because I'm obsessed with.
Would you say you stan him?
I think I do.
Are you going to start posting fan cams in the group chat?
It depends on what a fan cam is.
Gage, you might be able to correct me on this if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just a video of a bunch of videos of that person.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not going to say that.
And sometimes pictures, Gage?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh, so just like shitty edits.
Yeah, pretty much. Like a montage of that person.
Yeah, okay, yeah, those suck. I've seen those. No, I will not be doing that.
I just want to say I do not condone what Steve just said. And he stands that swarm that post fan cams. Don't hurt me.
K-pop stands. Those shit suck, dude. Fucking get better. Get better editing software. I don't know what to tell you. Fucking iMovie isn't cutting it. Okay, your fucking TikTok shit. This is how I die, I think. It's
dude, you don't gotta worry about my drone anymore.
Yeah, for real. But anyway, I listened to him on this other podcast called The Musicians Guild. Can't remember the guy who hosts it, but he mentioned on the podcast, and now Joyce Manor is no longer signed with Asian Man. I believe they're with Epitaph, and they have been since the third album, I believe, or maybe fourth. But anyway, where was I going? Oh yeah, Barry was talking about how he also works a job when they aren't touring and stuff. Which I was like, huh. But then I was like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Like they don't fucking make like a shit ton of money. They're not like a huge band. And he kind of talked about that as he was like, yeah, we make like a decent amount of money from touring, like enough so that I could probably like not have to have a job. But he's like, but it doesn't hurt to be making money because I kind of still need to. And like, It also like keeps me responsible. It keeps me humble. Like gives me like fucking 1 foot in the real world still, which I think is really interesting because I feel like
Greg Graffin has a second job besides Bad Religion.
Shit, there you go, man.
He's a professor.
That's I did not know that. Are you serious?
Yeah, I think he teaches evolutionary biology.
What?
Yeah,
that's so cool.
And he also lives right near me and Gage, like just a couple hours away.
You
upstate
should
New York.
Break into his house.
No, I had a buddy who saw him at I think Whole Foods or some sort of grocery store all the time.
Whole Foods.
You're a Whole Food.
That's it's an American thing, I think.
I think it's an Amazon thing.
Is it an Amazon thing?
I
That
think it's
fucking
an
sucks.
Amazon thing.
Why is he shopping at Amazon?
It might not have been Whole Foods. That's just the first grocery store that wasn't Walmart that popped in my head. It might have been.
Man, Walmart isn't even a grocery store, man.
Around here it is. Gage, do we have Kroger in New York?
I don't think so.
All right, it wasn't Kroger.
Anyway, we're totally off topic here. Anyway, I just thought that was cool. Because I think I would do the same, man. Like, even if things ever took off with any of my bands, I think I'd go crazy if I didn't have a normal job. Like,
do you work right now?
No, but I'm in school. So.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Well, that's it, man. Like, he talks about how he's like, yeah, like he wakes up in the morning and he just fucking plays video games until his girlfriend gets mad at him and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, fucking musician stars, man. They're just like us. Because, like, fuck, man, that's probably what I'd be doing. And he's like, yeah, the problem is he feels like too much of a piece of garbage if he just sits around and does that all day and he doesn't work at all. And I'm like, you know what? I get that, because the longest amount of my life that I've been unemployed and not in school was like a month and a half, and I was just like losing my fucking mind.
Yeah. Yeah, it might be a surprise to you and Gage and everybody listening, but yeah, I don't support myself on this podcast. I go to Wendy's almost every day, flip them burgers.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fucking Gage and I are making so much money. Are you not getting any of it?
Well, you know, when you guys had me sign the contract, it was you guys both get 45%.
I forgot about that. Yeah, and then we put 10% of it into a savings account for you.
Yeah, that I get when I grow up.
Exactly. When you prove you're responsible enough for it.
Yeah.
But
you guys are like millionaires, so that's sweet for you guys. I can't.
Well, that's the thing.
Hopefully, my contract's up soon. But I did sign a 40-year contract. So.
Yeah. So I mean, can you count to 40? Because it's ways away, pal. I don't know how to tell you.
No, I can't. I can't count to 4.
That's why you can't be a musician.
What makes you think I could do it 10 times?
That's true. Yeah, that's a lot of math for you. I'm sorry, buddy. But yeah, I think that was a pretty good episode. I'm kind of running out of steam. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think think we could wrap it up.
All right, great. Well, I guess everybody's listening. Tell us how you liked the episode. If you enjoyed my just talking about me writing songs, I guess I can do more of that, or I can do less of that, or fucking who knows? No, maybe nothing will change. Maybe you won't comment at all.
Also, I'm gonna announce this now. Steve doesn't know that this is happening, but next week's episode is Here's to the Rubble, the ska episode.
Is that true?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about ska. I'm gonna send
that won't be next. Oh, I guess it will be next week's episode. I'm still thinking of the one that's coming out next week that we already recorded.
Well, it's coming out this week.
Oh yeah,
this is coming out next week.
Time, baby.
But
I'm down for a ska episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you a bunch of ska, and you gotta listen to it.
I already have like a song in my head right now that I would want to play on it. So
hell yeah! All right,
sweet. There we go.
All right, thanks for listening. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Here's to Rubble.
Here's to Rubble.
And
have a great week.
Yeah. Have a good morning.
Listen to music. DM us if there's any music you think we should check out. And tell us if you've listened to anything that we've been talking about, and if you've enjoyed it or if you hate it, and if you think the Sex Pistols are awesome and we're totally off base.
If you do that, I'm gonna block you.
Oh, okay.
And also tell us if you don't like music, like the weird guy I play D&D with.
Oh, fucking.
You don't like
people
music.
Like that shouldn't be alive.
Yeah, Gage.
Gage.
All right. Later.
See you guys.